Rise and shine, wild ones. It's Bernadette. I'm here with your Pick a Card Daily Tarot reading for Friday, December 4th, 2020. And it is Throat Chakra Day. This day is ruled by Venus. It's the love day. And it's crazy because the card that came out, I shuffled the heck out of these things. It's the Eight of Wands. Yesterday was the Seven of Wands. There's like this need for the animal spirit guides to let you guys know that man, I got emails about that card yesterday and the woo-ness of it. And calm down, chill out, because with the Eight of Wands showing up today, right after the Seven of Wands, yesterday's put behind you. It's a journey. You made it through that journey, and all the energies, all the profound stuff of the Seven of Wands, it's cleared, and now you've got the emotional space to move forward. And when you put the Eight of Wands with the dragonfly energy, you're moving fast. You're agile. You if you need to zig, you zig. If you need to zag, you zag. If you need to go backwards, you go backwards. And this is just such a great omen, especially because Wands is all about communication, right? And today is the throat chakra day. That's why I had to put myself all in blue and super casual today. You notice I didn't have anything around my neck. I just I don't know. Spirit was like, every time I tried to put a necklace on, I was like, I can't breathe. I go, and so I just took it off. So today is going to be all about clear communication, and we're going to get to how Dragonfly plays into this. But Dragonfly certainly wanted to be. I mean, even if you even if you look at a dragonfly, the air energy, the wind energy, and it even looks like a wand. Its body looks like a wand. They're just, I could go on for days about dragonflies, and I know you could too. They're just so magical, and they speak to the divas of the forest, and we'll get to that in a second. But let's turn to very quickly the Eight of Wands in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot card meanings. And I read from my own award-winning and now best-selling deck, the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck, which is, even though it uses animals and animal spirit guides as the archetypal symbolism, it is completely based on the Rider-Waite deck and all of those traditional meanings. So the Kabbalists call the Eight of Wands the Lord of Swiftness. And if you remember just a second ago, I was talking about, it's time to move, it's time to groove, it's time to do your thing. And that's going to have a lot to do with communication, because you're going to have all of the courage and all of the valor and everything that you brought forth from yesterday. You're going to have that for today. And it's super important that you keep this channel open and clear. But the thing is clear. And what I mean by that is, just hearkening very quickly back to the dragonfly. Dragonflies are so associated with children and child's energy. Kind of like that song, Forever Young, right? It's they only live a few days, and they spend most of their life as children. And God love kids. They will just say what they think and what they feel with no filter. And you can't do that all the time. I imagine some people do. I laugh when people do that. I love it. But whatever you're going to be communicating to your loved ones, or in an environment where you want to love something, or you do love something, like let's say you got a new position or a new job, you really want to love it there, but maybe you don't, but you're trying to. Or maybe you want to love the people there, but you don't, but you're trying to. Or it could be a friend or family or whatever. But remember, this day is ruled by the planet Venus. So even to say that communication has got to be clear and come from a place of love, that doesn't even cover it. It's got to be clear, almost to the point of a child's no filter kind of thing. And almost to the point of the blue that's why I wore this color blue. I was feeling, when I picked the card, I started to feel in my body, this isn't about the light sky blue or pastel blue. This is about blue. And so whatever communication that you're saying today, and oh my gosh, maybe one of you guys out there is going to get popped the question to, or you're going to pop the question to someone. Put it in the comments below if that happens. I want to know, right? We all want to know. That would be so cool. I don't. That was just fed to me. So I'll bet you there's somebody out there that's going to be watching this video that's got that going on. Um, God, that'll be so cool. Make sure and if you put a video of it on Facebook, put the video link in the comments below. So all of that being said, going back to just the traditional tarot card meanings of the Eight of Wands, when you take a look at the staffs, they're kind of like a volley of arrows, right? They're slanted. And anytime I see something slanted like that, it always reminds me of the Magician card, which is about being able to draw down the power from the divine and feed it into whatever you want in this mortal world. And if you look at it, it's a cloudless sky. So aiming carefully is less important here than it is about being quick on the draw. So kind of like, you get past a conversation, you're like, dang, I wish I'd have said this, or I wish I'd have said that. You're going to be able to come out with those things. You're going to be able to come up with the answers and just the things that you want to say. You're going to be able to come up with them closely. Now, remember that the blue color of this card really suggests that there's a lot of intuition going on rather than planning. So you're really feeling your way forward with your third eye, maybe even your crown chakra, because there's so much optimism. And yes, the ideas that you have are lofty. Yes, they're big ideas. Okay, yay. And so there is a little bit of disorganization. Okay, whatever. You'll get it under control, or you may not need to get it under control right now. I find some of the most creative people are the people that like have to have everything in chaos so they can look out over everything and see everything all at once. And then their mind works like Russell Crowe depicts in A Beautiful Mind, where everything just like comes out of chaos and falls into place. It's the most amazing thing to watch. It's craziness. So we'll also take a look at the landscape. Now, from high up, the landscape looks a little more perfect than it may be, and all you can see is the beautiful castle on the hill, surrounded by green pastures, and there's a beautiful river, and that represents success and prosperity. That's awesome. But it's in the distance. You don't know who lives in that castle. It could be the Queen of Hearts, right? And she could be ready to chop somebody's head off. You're going to find out soon enough, though, because you're supposed to find out, if that makes sense. Now, the staff's downward motion and the fact that their upper ends are outside the image, you may be getting spiritual communications at this time. Maybe even prophetic visions. I say it all the time that literally only just about a year and a half ago did I start telling people the truth, which is I have visions. I mean, it sounds so, I don't even know what it sounds. It just sounds so something, something. I just didn't want to say it, but I can't help it. I mean, I can't, what am I going to do if everything in front of me just fades away and this thing happens like it happens on a movie screen? Probably happens to you too, probably. So, and if it doesn't, this card may be the harbinger that it's going to be, especially when you tie it, it may be happening because when you tie it into the spirit animal meanings of dragonfly and you start talking about its ties to the mystical and the magical, and especially its ties to children and staying forever young, my God, kids never stop believing in the magic, and good for them. I wish nobody ever stopped believing in the magic. So there's going to be something magical, mystical, prophetic, a vision, a something. And remember, it's going to all tie back into the love thing, the communication thing, the Venus thing. And remember, love can be in a lot of different forms. But just remember, when you get to the point sometime today, I just feel like there's this lump in my throat, and I just want to go, I'm ready. Like, clear my throat, I'm ready. And I'm going to say what I need to be said. And it's going to be the perfect verbiage, the perfect words, the perfect sentiment, the perfect thought at the perfect moment. So trust in that. Okay. The other thing is when you see this card, great distances are covered in a very short amount of time and a long journey comes to an end. Now, I have talked to a lot of people lately, a lot of people who took their downtime and just focus their attention on their ascension, their spiritual awakening, their spiritual understandings, their spiritual beliefs. I don't know that I've ever seen people make such huge journeys in such a short amount of time. And so if that's something that you're working on, if you are trying to move to another country, another state, another relationship, another job, another whatever. It might be a long journey, but if you'll embark on that journey, you will get there. You totally will get there. Okay, so don't forget that along this big old journey, okay, the universe and your higher self are always conspiring together to help you achieve your biggest dreams. Now, I know that us metaphysical people and people that do life coaching and woo woo and you know inspirational people. I know we always say that. We do, but it's true. Why goodness? Why why would your higher self, which is the universe and your universe and the universe is your higher self, why would it want it's not logical. It wouldn't want you to have things go badly. But you you got to believe that. So, one more thing about this, be really clear that when this card comes to you, you're going to get large amounts of information all at one time. And it's important that you uh, know that you can digest it. And if you know that you are a person that needs maybe a little bit of extra time to digest things, start writing it down, record it, do whatever, but make sure that you get this message. Like it, and it, pardon me, it doesn't even have to be like a long message. It doesn't have to be a lot of words. It can be a short message, but it might hit you, here or in your throat chakra. It might hit you like that, and you might need a little bit of extra time to absorb it. Problematically, the dragonfly and the Eight of Wands is about rapid movement. So get on the stick, so to speak, right? And get it figured out and get it integrated and let it do its thing inside of you. Okay. So when we take a look at dragonfly as a spirit totem and power animal, I I have been to any number of botanical gardens around this country. I love them. And I love them. I mean, flowers, right? Okay. I was drawing in dragonfly energy today, and so I had to put my flowers on. So I I have seen firsthand the joy, the pure joy that people experience when a dragonfly lands on their drink, on their finger, on their shirt, or just flies in front of them and is around water or this or that. They just stop everything they're doing and they watch them. And then afterwards, did you see that one land there? And did you see that one land there? And did you see the color of that one? And then they'll talk about the colors of the flowers and it's just it's beautiful. And the lore and legend and myth that go on with dragonflies, around the world, it's about symbolically, it's about fresh starts, it's about hopefulness, it's about love, and the Japanese associate the dragonfly with rebirth. The Native Americans use dragonfly to represent the souls of the departed ancestors. The Mayans say that dragonfly is sacred to the goddess of creativity. The Celts say fairies use dragons as horses. I love that. And, universally, again, going back to dragonflies are very closely associated with the divas of the forests and, all around the world. So, they're really fast. Like can you believe that little thing, that little critter can go 45 miles an hour? It's the first time I heard that, I was like, nuh-uh. And I had to look it up. And so it was. Oh, and one more thing. The Hopi shaman, they work with dragonfly medicine for a hardy crop, fertility, and abundance. Now, I haven't quite figured that one out yet. I did some digging on that. I know I've read it in a couple of books that didn't explain it quite as much as I would like something explained. But I would be remiss if I didn't bring in, power to the people of the shaman, right? I can't wait to do my shaman videos. Ooh, who you think is a shaman is not a shaman, and who you would never guess is a shaman is a total shaman. Can't wait to do it. Okay, so all of that being said, because dragonflies are always near the water, they carry the vibrations of the water element, which is all about the emotions, right? But they are earth creatures as well, and it really is about balancing them or being able to switch very quickly between one and the other. And that can be really difficult for people to get really mired in the earth element, have a hard time pivoting, and people get mired, and sucked into the emotional element. It can take a while for them to just get all their feels under control and have that same lightness of spirit that we associate with dragonfly. So, um, also I've heard, oh, also in myth and legend, I've heard that dragonflies actually used to be real dragons. And so when I see dragonflies, I definitely always think of, well, what of those big, powerful, fiery, passionate parts of ourselves have we shrunk down, shrunk down, shrunk down? And are we okay with that? Are we okay with that, or do we need to emerge and tap back into like big dragon energy again? Or are we happy being like this very delicate, very fragile, but fierce? Goodness, they're like hummingbirds. If you've never seen them fight, you hear their little wings clacking against each other. Um, and that look they get on their little faces. I used to sit on my back porch when I lived on 10 acres. I used to sit on my back porch because we had butterflies and hummingbirds and dragonflies like you can't even believe. And I would just watch. And when they would start to, I would hone in on their faces. They're so expressive. They're crazy expressive. So, you know, maybe today is, this is interesting. So what I'm hearing is there are a bunch of you out there that are considering how big or real your love is. And this is very specifically in a romantic fashion. And it's bigger than you think, and it can be as big as you want. It's bigger than you think, and it can be as big as you want. I'm not sure exactly what that means to who, but I was told to say that. And today is the day for you, really, for you to make that decision. And it's going to be faster to make than you think. You're going to pivot in ways that you might not have thought, and then you're going to move quickly on it. So, I know this reading has been a little bit shorter than normal, but it's Friday. And really, there's just been so much going on this week that we're going to head into the weekend, and that's going to have its own hoopty-roopty-doopty-doo. But for today, even just making sure that your communication is clear and it's authentic like a kid's would be, making sure that you pivot if you need to, you go backwards if you need to, you fly forwards, and that you strap in for the ride because it's all going to happen fast. That's enough. I think that's a lot to deal with. That's a lot to unpack on a Friday. So I hope this has been helpful. And whether you're calling on dragonfly as a spirit totem or power animal, there are so many things that you can use that energy and medicine for, and it will all be beautiful, every smack bit of it. So pick up your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Even if today all you do is get somewhere where you are not being heard, or where you in a group of people where you all want to be heard, you all want to say it, you pinky promise me that you have made the pledge to stay wild.